Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your midday news fix for Wednesday the 19th of March. Trade and security have been top of mind for Winston Peters during his first face-to-face meeting with Marco Rubio. The Foreign Minister's been meeting the US Secretary of State in Washington DC. It's just days after Donald Trump introduced tariffs on steel and aluminium, and he's also planning new tariffs on agricultural products. Peters says the meeting was productive and covered a broad range of issues.
We talked about our position, our long relationship, the trading circumstances going forward, the security circumstances going forward, and a wide range of issues with his team as well.
Israeli strikes have plunged Gazans back into chaos. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says this is only the beginning after Hamas refused to extend the first stage of the ceasefire. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says at least 400 people have been killed overnight, ending a fragile truce in place since January. Netanyahu says they'll continue to fight to get all of the goals of the war. His words are translated by CNN.
From now on, Israel will fight against Hamas with more and more power, and the negotiations will, from now on, be under fire.
Ukraine says Russia's terms for peace show it isn't ready to end the war. The Kremlin's agreed to pausing strikes on Ukraine's critical energy infrastructure and discussing a ceasefire in the Black Sea after a phone call with President Trump. But this diverges from Trump's plan to lock down a 30-day ceasefire, and it's also demanding all military aid to Ukraine be halted. CNN's Fred Pleitkin says critics will likely paint this as a Vladimir Putin playing Trump for time.
Certainly here in Russia, those who support Vladimir Putin, especially in politics, are saying that they believe that he came out the winner in all of this, that Vladimir Putin stood his ground.
A yacht has sunk in Christchurch's Cass Bay with more than 1,000 litres of fuel and a dog on board. Blake Benny reports.
Environment Canterbury confirms the 12.5-metre vessel sank overnight. Debris seen in surrounding bays will be recovered. No significant spillage has been observed, but alongside fuel, the vessel is also carrying 40 litres of lube and hydraulic fluid. The pup has been saved and returned to its owner.
Fluoride will be added to Whangarei's water supply from today, with the possibility of stopping later, with the High Court still not reaching a decision on allowing a pause. An Auckland University research fellow is pushing for a public health response to social media for the well-being of children. 2 NASA astronauts are now back on Earth after being stranded for 9 months in space.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore gently landed in waters off Florida's coast with 2 other astronauts in a SpaceX Dragon capsule. The pair have been stranded at the International Space Station for 9 months after issues with their Boeing spacecraft in what was supposed to be an 8-day mission in orbit. To sport. A miracle is on ice for now with the Ukraine-Russia peace talks, but United States President Donald Trump has promised to revive a bilateral hockey rivalry with puck-loving Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. 15-year-old running prodigy Sam Ruth is apparently staying calm ahead of his attempt to become the youngest person to crack a 4-minute mile at Mount Smart tonight. And English cricket's governing body has come out against proposals for a Saudi Arabian-backed T20 league because the tournament will further saturate the market. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.